נתיבות שלום, ספר בראשית, פרשת ויצא. So Vayetze is when Yaakov Avinu actually flee, and he's going to Haran, right? Because of he tricked his father allegedly and took the brachot. Esav wanted to kill him, so Rivka was sending him, and basically he was sent away to her uncle, brother, to Lavan, to get married, right? So וירא והנה באר בשדה. So Yaakov Avinu is coming to Haran. וירא והנה באר בשדה. So you see the well, right, in the field. והנה שם 3 עדרי צאן, 3 herds of sheep, lamb, are sitting there. Why? Because כי מהבאר ההוא ישקו, מבאר ההיא ישקו עדרים, right? So they're going to drink water, right? If you've never been into this type of places, then in the field, you know, unless if you have streams, but there are many places in that area that you don't have running water, rivers, streams, etc. You need to dig into the ground and find water when you build a well, and then you can go and draw the water with the bucket and a rope, whatever. This is how they used to do it at the time. So the herd was sitting there waiting for the water. So it says in the Midrash Rabbah, they have many explanations. What does it mean, be'er basadeh, a well in the field? And we know the rule that in the Torah we don't have stories. It's not just stories for stories. And from each part of it, we need to learn, right, Chassidut, the inner part. What did it mean spiritually? So according to that, we can explain what does it mean, be'er basadeh, well in the field, in the context of avoda. Deine. Doma avoda דומה העולם הזה כשדה, right? So this world is like a field. It is a field, literally. You can grow fruit trees or beautiful trees and maintain them, and you have a beautiful garden. Or if you don't work it and you don't put in any effort, then you have thorns and wild bushes, whatever. It's not going to be pleasant, and you're not going to eat from that anything. So this is how the creation works. So he said, sheitachen, it's possible to achieve in this world to a very high level. And in the other hand, this world is a very low level, like materialistic world. So when Hashem sent a soul of a Jew from a very high place in heaven to a very low place here, Hashem planted or prepared for him a well in the field. So that well is not literally a well, but it's a spiritual one. So the soul, when it's coming down to this world and materialized in a body or formalized in a body, then he needs something to take for the spiritual part of the soul. And Hashem created a well in the Sadeh, which is this world. And the head or the beginning or the main source for that spiritual well is Shabbos Kodesh. It's Mekora Yenika. Yenika, it's when you're soaking something. You can soak a lollipop, a popsicle, but also it's a very known expression in the spiritual world, which is the Sitra Achra. The other side is Yonek Meitanu. I don't want to scare you, but for example, there is a Ruach Ra, right? That when we sleep, we wake up in the morning, during our sleep, it's 1/60 of death. So the evil spirit dwell on the tip of our body, which is usually the tips of the fingers. And if we don't do Netilat Yadayim in the morning to get rid of that evil spirit, then it's remain there. And then it's sucking whatever we do or good thing from us spiritually during the day. That's why it's very important to do Netilat Yadayim, to get rid of this evil spirit. So the head or the source of the good thing of that well, that will be the source of Yanika, is Shabbos Kodesh. Shabbos Kodesh. Because all the brachot and all the abundance, everything is depending in that day. As the Zohar said, Kol berchan del ala v'tata, all the blessing from heaven and from earth, depending on the 7th day. bracha delela, the blessing that comes from heaven, is the bracha for the big people. And the blessing that are coming from here, from this world, are for the low-level people. But when they're holding into high level and they are in this low-level world, they are all yonkim, they are all sucking the abundance and the bracha from Shabbos Kodesh. And this is what it says, from that well, from that Shabbos, they were going to take all the brachot. The upper one and the lower one. Because Shabbat is the source of that. And he said, and the Shabbos is like a life vest, right? We sing in the Eshet Chayil, right? V'chagor natna laknani, right? You singing it every Friday, right? V'chagor natna laknani. What does it mean, v'chagor? Chagor, it's like a belt, it's like a vest. So we get a vest, a life vest. It's the analogy of somebody that is drowning in the sea. If he have a life vest, good. He will be saved, right? He's not going to drown. Or if somebody is throwing him this life vest or throwing him this thing that he can float on it. So as long as he attached to that, then he will be saved. So this is the Shabbos Kodesh. So the Chagor Natna Lakna'ani mean, in the Mishnah he explained, it says like, even someone that it is like a Kna'ani, doing like lower level things, the Shabbat, for them, for us, is the life vest to hold in it and to save ourselves. Okay, and then in the Pasuk it says, right, that you have 3 herds sitting there, which is 3 period of time. So in Shabbos Kodesh, you have the first meal, the second meal, and the Suda Shlishit, right? So the Leil Shabbat, and then the day, and then the time of will of all wills, which is the Suda Shlishit. And this period of time are fixing the Nefesh, Ruach, and Neshama, right? Remember, we learned that we have 5 parts in our soul. So the Nefesh is the lower one, which is common to us and the animal. Ruach, spirit, is a little bit higher. It sits in the heart. And then you have the neshama, the soul, which is in the brain. So the same thing, Shabbat. You have the nighttime, which is fixing the nefesh, and then you have the daytime, which is the spirit, and the most peak time of Shabbat, which is Suda Shlishit, fixing the neshama. When he says the Even Gedola, right, there is a big stone covering the well. So Even is another nickname or a name for the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination. I have like at least seven nicknames. Even, Tzfoni, Yetzer Hara, Melech Zaken Veksil. So when it says in the Even Agdola, so something is covering the source of the Shefa, which is the evil inclination. That's the big stone, right? That's the big stone. And the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, is trying harder to trick us when Shabbat is coming, especially right before Shabbos, Friday. Friday is a time that is really capable of having fights and to mess it around. And that's on purpose, the evil inclination. Why he's doing it? Because he wants to seal, he wants to clog our heart and clog our mind, so we will not be able to soak the well of the Shabbos, the water, the spiritual water from Shabbos, because we need it for our vitality. And that's why the evil inclination is trying harder. And he says here that the Shabbos again is like a life vest, because after we maybe failed during the week, we can rejuvenate by connecting ourselves to the source of the bracha, of the Kedusha of Shabbos Kodesh, and therefore the evil inclination is trying harder, so we will not go into the Kedusha of Shabbos. And he says it's an analogy to a war between two countries. So one effective way to conquer one side is to siege the enemy, which means you don't let him bring any water and any food, right? How relevant is to today, literally to what's going on, right, in Israel, in certain places. You don't send them water and food, then they will finish whatever they have, and then they're going to starve, and then they're going to surrender, right? That's it. You don't need to kill them. So al derech zeh, so the same thing, same way, the evil inclination is trying really, because he's taking from us the Gedusha, trying to take from us the Gedusha of Shabbos and the connection between us and the well, the spiritual well of Shabbos. And this is his advice. So all the herds are gathering together, and they roll the stone from the well, from the top of the well. So as Rashi, our sages explained, right? Amra Shabbat lifnei Kadosh Baruch Hu, right? The Shabbos, the complaint to Hashem, right? Each day have a mate. Sunday have Monday, Tuesday Wednesday, Thursday Friday. What about me? Shabbat, who is my mate? And Hashem told the Shabbat, Knesset Israel will be your mate. How? When they get together, when the Adarim, when the herds are getting together, right? Knesset Israel is from gathering together. The word Knesset, lekanes, it can suit Knisa, right? What is a Knisa? It's an entrance, it's a gate, it's the door of the house, because you're getting into it and then you get together. So the Knesset Israel will be the mate of the Shabbat. And then when we are together, we can roll the stone and kick it away. As the Torah said, Bevchinat be'er basadeh, makor enika, right? So that well in the field, it's the source of shefa, of abundance that we have. And we're sucking it from the Torah as well. Shabbat and the Torah. So he said, we have levels, right? Whether if you are in a higher level, whether if you are in a lower level. But to get into a higher level, it's only by the strength of the Torah. So how we do that? Because Hashem created the evil inclination, He created the antidote. He created the Torah as a cure, which is really help in any situation, in any level that somebody is there, right? And the big stone could be rolled only when we are really learning Torah together, because the evil inclination is trying harder and finding all the excuses in the world so we will not learn the Torah, right? So he said, so when a person is overcome, this temptation and excuses that suddenly, or things that popping up and they're trying to take him away from learning Torah. So when he's overcome that, and he actually sits and learn Torah, then the evil inclination is trying a different tactic, and he planting in his head foreign thoughts suddenly. Maybe the Rav is not good, maybe this one is nonsense, whatever, something that will take him away. So he will not really going to learn the Torah that he's learning, or is not going to treat it seriously. And also in the learning Torah, we have the same thing of the herds are got together, because it says learning Torah alone individually is not good. How can we acquire Divrei Torah? With a chavura, right? Here you say chavura, which is wrong. It's chavura, it's together. Again, a congregation, because individuals have a limited strength. When we are together, we are superheroes when we are together. ועוד יש בחינה, in another aspect of באר בשדה, which is the עמוד העבודה והתפילה. It's like the pillar of avoda and the tefillah. So main thing of the tefillah, davening, is cleaving to Hashem. Because when we cleave to Hashem, when we davening to Hashem, we're talking to Hashem basically, right? And beside what we are reading in the tefillah that our sages were metaken to us, and we're reading from the Sidurim, we can also speak to Hashem directly, like we're speaking or with our father or with our master, or whatever we want to treat Hashem, and just talk to Him. So this is the tefillah, this is the davening. So when we do that, it's keeping our vitality, our spiritual vitality, and cleaving to Hashem. And this is hinted again in the 3 herds of the tzon, which is the 3 time of the tefillah, right? We have shachrit in the morning, we have mincha at noon, and we have ma'ariv at night. So again, nefesh, ruach, neshama, סעודה ראשונה, סעודה שנייה, סעודה שלישית, davening in the evening, davening in the day, and davening again in the afternoon, right? And then nishma korin, then Hashem will hear our voice. So when the stone is big and it's sitting on the well, on the top of the well, when we're standing in tefillah, the evil inclination is bothering us suddenly in the middle of the tefillah, right? You know the joke that after Shmona Esrei, we need to say a gomel, because during Shmona Esrei, we were traveling to Israel, we're traveling here, we're traveling there, we did a business, we opened a business, we closed a business, we did this, we do that, right? So after Shmona Esrei, we need to say a gomel. So he said, and this is evil inclination, is trying to distract us. So we could not unite with our Creator, with Hashem. So we need to get together and davening with the tzibur, not alone at home. I remember Rabbi Zupnik said something, which I was thinking about it, that he said Corona was like a test for all of us when we were davening alone at home. And then you see how you daven. Rabbi Zupnik liked to say it like that. When you're davening, when people are looking at you, or if you're davening when nobody's looking at you, which type of davening is longer, with more kavana? You're making funny faces so people will look at you or not. So he said Corona was the test, the big test for each one. Each one need to think about himself, how he was acting when he was alone. But he said here, so how we can prevent that the evil inclination will not bother us during the tefillah? Together, in a minyan. That's it. He said 10 Jews davening together. It's called a tzibur chitzoni, like they're very strong already. It's a herd, and they're connected to each other. I don't know if you know, but when you learn chevruta with people, after a while, it's become like a special connection. You might not schmooze with each other. You might go learn and go home, but if you see each other in the street, you feel there is a connection. That's the Torah. That's the Torah. So he said, we're davening together as a congregation. We have a connection. They are mekusharim. In an intercom. That's the intercom. And the tefillah, it's the intercom, right? And that's really capable of rolling the stone from the top of the well. And in all of these things, right, we have that in Shabbat itself, as we mentioned. We have the timing, we have the nefesh, ruach, neshama, we have the three davening, etc. And when Moshe Rabbeinu told Hashem Yitbarach, Hashem, right, in the future now, Israel, נכנסים לארץ, זה פונה לכרמו, זה פונה לביתו. So, Bnei Israel, we're going to the land of Israel. We're going to conquer the land. And each one go to his vineyard, is going to the orchard, is going to his work, right? What about the Torah? What will happen to the Torah? So Hashem replied to Moshe, נתתי להם השבת שכולה תורה. I gave them the Shabbos, which is all Torah, which means that's the time that we can learn Torah. We're not working because we need to work to pay our bills, right? So after all, we are living in this world, so we don't have time really during the weekday to learn as we like because we are busy. And then when we have time at evening, we are exhausted and we don't chap, we're sleeping. It's very difficult to concentrate after a long day of working. So Hashem said, I gave them Shabbos, don't worry, Moshe. And Shabbos, they're going to learn Torah. If we do that, because the Shabbat itself, as we mentioned here, it's the source of the blessing and everything, and the strength that it will give us, a spiritual well, to achieve the levels of the Torah. And the Shabbat itself is all tefillot, right? Most of Shabbos, what we do, we're davening, we're eating, learning, we sleep a little bit, and we're davening again. And that's the tefillah and the dveikut, which means we are dedicating ourselves and we're going on. And that's why, as this says from Arav HaKadosh Mikubrin, שהשבת היא תחילה למקראי קודש. Which means if somebody wants to be called to the Gedusha, and also Mikrei Kodesh, it's like the halachot and everything about our religion, which is Shabbos. So Shabbos is the first thing. So anyone that wants to get into the Gedusha, you have to start and keep Shabbos, because it's the source of from there you can soak the spiritual thing. It's the main source for us, and everything is included in that. And then Hashem gave us to that. And this is, again, we're going back to Vayeven Kveda Labe'er and Shlosha Adarim, right? That we started this with that Yaakov Avinu came to the well in the field. There was a stone, 3 herds that were sitting there, were waiting. The shepherds couldn't roll it unless if they all get together, then they can roll the stone. And that's, again, it's analogy for this world, that we're living in this world and we have the evil inclination, which is a big stone on our heart. And the way for us to roll it and kick it away is when we get together with the minyan, davening with the minyan, be together with other Jews, learn together with the Jews, and sanctify ourselves. And Be'ezat Hashem will do that. So, and I want to dedicate the shiur again to the success of Bnei Israel, Am Israel, the IDF, anyone that needs refuah shlema and Eliyat Neshama. Thank you very much for listening.